Walker Thompson, bodyweight.com, and here to talk about rowing. Rowing has gotten to be super popular with CrossFit athletes, really just athletes in general, for several reasons. Now, number one, obviously the aerobic potential is huge, especially at a high velocity. Number two, the full body workout is kind of unparalleled in a lot of ways. Then three, just the lack of jarring on your knees from running, I think is an appeal to a lot of people. But when I've watched people row, I see a couple things that they might want to consider with this kick-ass workout tool. So I'm just going to cover off on a couple things I think are important, and by all means, voice an opinion by contacting us directly if you think that there should be more that we would cover. Let's get right to it. So the first thing that I've seen a lot of people do with rowing is kind of a curved back. Naturally, that's going to be the case when you get a little fatigued, but a straight back with almost your chest puffed out is going to be one of the best ways to use the rowing machine. So I'm just going to kind of show you real quick, and we'll cover off on really idea and technique number two. Okay, so number two, the arched back and chest puffed, it actually helps stabilize your knees and most importantly your ankles. When you're rowing, one thing I've realized, just like with mountain biking or cycling or even horseback riding, heels down, right? Now your heel is not going to be all the way down, but that idea helps center your gravity. It also kind of focuses your feet planted. So on a mountain bike, same thing. You wouldn't have your heels down, which will help center your gravity and actually helps control the movement of the bike. It's the same thing, believe it or not, at least I believe, with rowing. So this, when you're rowing, it's almost like you're pushing off your heels. I think that's really important, versus feeling that you're pushing off your toes. So it's not that you're actually pushing off your heels, it's that you're using the full force of your skeleton to push off on every row. Rowing is more about your legs than it is your back. So anyway, I'll just demonstrate it. It's almost the same thing you just saw, but I'm actually pushing off my heels. You can even lift off your heel or pull your toes up and get the same effect. And you know that anyway, when you're rowing, you're going to be pulling off your toes anyway to bring you back to complete the actual row cycle. So I'll demonstrate it. Again, very similar, but you get the point. Okay, number three is grip. Personally, just because of some injuries I've had, I actually hold the grip like this. I think a lot of people hold the grip more traditional, like that. So it just really depends on where you want to place your thumbs. Again, for me, I kind of have to put them on the outside to get a little bit of stress from some injured fingers and bones, like this, although I can do it. I've also noticed when I do it like this, I sometimes scrape my knees with my thumbs. So I prefer the kind of like more overhand and more open hand rowing position. So another thing to think about in your hand position, I'm constantly adjusting my hip bones as well as my hands, because sometimes I've noticed that the chain will move left or right or left based on how my skeleton and my back is structured. Meaning, if I get a straight back, I notice I have a straight chain. If I have kind of a curved back, I'll notice that the chain will move left to right. So just be mindful of that when you're rowing. You want to see that chain row or come through very center line of the machine. But anyway, 3 tips on rowing. It's one of the best exercises for CrossFitters, climbers, mountain bikers, runners, you name it. Rowers for that matter. So yeah, enjoy more instructional videos and great reviews at bodyweightsheaven.com. Thank you very much.